Hey guys, are you looking for a good power bump from your Civic Si and you don't want to turbocharge it or supercharge it? Well, I'm going to show you how to do that. Welcome to VTEC Academy. You're about to get schooled. Well, you can rule the track too, I suppose.
Rule the world?
Rule the world. K-swap them all. K-swap up. The K24A2 is actually remarkably similar to the K20Z3. It has a similar head, it has a similar block, just a little bit shorter. The big major difference though is right here. This is the oil pan. On the back side of the oil pan, we have our mount. But it's not just as easy as swapping over an oil pan. Anyway, Scott's going to show you how we did it and all the parts you need. When we change oil pans, which has a rear mount on it, it's a taller or deeper oil pan, so we need a deeper pickup. So that's why I have Scott doing double duty here right now, getting these two motors changed over. So if you compare these, this is an RSX Type S pump, and this is the Civic Si. Actually, this is the Type R pump from 06 to 11, which uses that deeper oil pan. It's pretty obvious, you can see, there's about, I don't know, maybe 10 millimeters difference between these two pickup points, and that's because of the deeper pan. Now, you don't actually have to go out and purchase one of these Type R oil pumps. You could modify the 06 Civic pump. Let me show you real quickly. Right over here, we have an 06 Civic pump. You can see how it's got the taller pickup, and this is actually one out of a CRV, kind of rusty because I just leave it out there in the weather, and it rains occasionally here. Anyway, basically the big difference between the two is on the underside here. Can you see these cutouts right here? These cutouts are actually for the counterbalances on the crankshaft so that they can clear when the engine is spinning around. So if you want to use this particular oil pump, the one from your 06 Civic motor, you need to do this. You need to go in there and you need to machine out windows for clearance so that your crankshaft counterbalances won't impact the case. So see right here, I've already modified this particular one. This is from a project we had, gosh, way back in 2005 when we actually modified the very first 2006 Civic to have a K24 in it. If you look at the blocks here, this is the K24 block. It's the same as the Accord block and the TSX block, not the same as the CRV block. It's got this reinforcement on the crankshaft. When the 06 Civic came out, they also had that same reinforcement in the block. So the pump actually has cutaway on the underside. Sorry. This one we had to cut because this is the one we had on our K24 engine that we modified back, oh gosh, I don't know, probably in about 2004. We actually modified it by machining out this clearance area so that it would clear this area of the block. But we don't have to do that on our Type R one. One other thing we have to do, and this one's already been done because a long time ago we modified it, there's actually an oil port right here. This oil port feeds oil right here into the bearings that are in the countershaft balancer. So that needs to be plugged up. If you don't plug it up, you're going to have really low oil pressure in the top end of your engine. Oil just pour out of that. We found an Allen bolt with the right size threads and just basically screwed it in there to block everything off.
There's actually a couple other things that are different with this. If you're doing the K24 and using your Type R oil pump, these two fixed guides are different, you can see. And actually, if you line those holes up, yeah, it slightly puts it in a different spot. So we have to change that out. And just because we've been told that this tensioner is different, I checked them and they look identical, but there's two different part numbers on there. So to be safe, I'm going to change it and use the chain and everything just in case so we don't have a problem. I had to change the windage tray because I want this engine to run the first time.
So on our engine, we decided to go ahead and do the 06 Civic Si intake manifold with throttle body. You don't actually have to do that. You can use the K24 A2 throttle body and manifold. It works just fine. In order to do that though, you're going to probably make a few adjustments to the lengths of the wiring because map sensors in a slightly different location, along with the throttle body control as well. So otherwise though, it's pretty much plug and play as well. One more thing you have to do. On the timing chain side, this bracket needs to be swapped over for one from a K24 A1. So the CRV one or the Element bracket, that's one you want to put on there. Of course, you can also use the aftermarket ones. Hasport makes one, and a bunch of other companies make nice billet versions of that. Anyway, that's basically it in a nutshell. So if you're looking to try to get a little more torque to help you rule the streets, a K24 A2 is a really good choice. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot for joining us on another episode of VTEC Academy. I hope you got schooled, and we'll be back soon with some more information on Civic Si's. And please think about liking and subscribing, and don't forget to hit the bell so that you get notifications when new videos come out. Thanks for clicking on us. And actually, that should be the intro to Welcome to VTEC Academy. You're about to get schooled. But it's not.
If, darn it, can we start that over?
Yeah, just go from the beginning.
Okay. You change the windage strip.
That's true.
The oil pump. I would just like all these.
Bye, Scott.
Bye. I was already talking to myself out there on camera.
Come on. All right.
Time
So,
to swim.
the throttle body control. What do they call it?
Drive-by-wire.
Drive-by-wire, and the electronic throttle control. That's true.